am Rebecca Harris, and welcome to this edition of Faces and Places. Today we are at PNB Broadcasting with my good friend Bear O'Brien, and I'm so excited to be here with you this morning because we haven't had time to catch up.
No, it takes a while, yeah. And because you run in one direction, I run in the other. And this is Faces and Places. Yes. This is the face, this is place. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
No, we do. We don't talk as much as we used to because you're busy. I'm busy, but when we do get to catch up, it's usually in front of a camera.
Right, and it was so funny because you used to always interview me.
I did.
Now I get the chance to interview you.
Right here. You would always sit over there, and I was constantly, looking in the microphone going, so Rebecca, tell me what's coming to the Phoenix City Amphitheater? What time are they going to be on and this and that?
Yeah.
And now I can just hush. It's all you. And by the way, you look absolutely beautiful. You never age. Not one day. You look great.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Brownie points?
Yep.
I don't think you need any brownie points because you have been awarded something that I'm extremely proud of. I saw it on Facebook because I don't live here anymore.
Right.
So I follow you on Facebook, and I was
and I do you.
So thrilled. So I know we're gonna backtrack here in just a minute, but let's tell everybody what the award was that you got.
I was nominated by a dear friend of mine who probably one of the best program directors I've ever worked with, Ralph Carroll, and he lives down in the Destin area now. He's from Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
And that's where he was when we first met. And he nominated me for the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame. And you still have to be voted on in it. You have to be a member. In order to be a member, you can go to, grhof.com.
Okay.
Okay. And if you do that, it's a $25 for full lifetime membership. $25 one time and you're a lifetime member, but you have to be a member to vote. So I was thinking, look, I'm proud of what I've done. All the other honors I've been given throughout my career have been wonderful, but I thought if this one could work out, that's where I could leave my name. If I never go anywhere else, there's nothing really bigger for me in the state of Georgia. My grandkids and their kids can go to LaGrange one day, if that's where they're going to keep it, and they'll be able to see my name there. And I will. And so it was pretty important to me. It really was. And so the night of October 26th, I had it in LaGrange at the Great Wolf Lodge. And that night there were 19 of us nominated, and only 9 of us went in, and mine was the third name called. And you don't know how much a relief it was, because I thought if I sit there through 8 names, I'd be like this. And so it was such a relief, but also such an honor. And there were tears. I thought I'll be all right with this. I'll go up there and do the man thing. But I enjoyed the acceptance speech, and I enjoyed the whole night, and I enjoyed having some very close friends, the common friends that you and I have in common that sat at the table with me. And so, yeah, I'm not going to elaborate, but I'm in the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame now. So. Thank you for asking. It's a great honor. It really, I'm not going to try to downplay it. That's a wonderful honor.
So basically this is a peer-based judging for you to be into this?
Yeah, you don't have to be in radio. You don't even have to have ever been in a radio station to join. If you just like to, there's lots of great names that you would know from Columbus and Macon and Albany and Manchester, even small markets. If you've ever worked in radio, your name's probably in there somewhere. But you don't have to be a member or have ever worked in radio to join. Anybody can join. So grhof.com, and that's how you get in, and they send you a monthly newsletter, let you know what's going on. You can go to the Hall of Fame. Anybody can go to the Hall of Fame over in LaGrange. It's on Lincoln Street. I don't have the address. But so anybody could join. I'd appreciate it if you go check it out. You might want to. $25 lifetime membership.
Well, I think that's awesome. And, one of the reasons I wanted to come and talk to you today is because I don't think that everybody realizes what your career has been like for the last how many years now?
41 years. Started in 1978.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm in the I guess I'm going into my 42nd year as we change into the 2020
Wow,
season.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So just tell me really briefly how you got started in radio and why you were interested in doing this career.
I had my whole life, and I started off my acceptance speech, and I think our friend Toygar is going to put that on this video if he can get it loaded in there.
Yes.
I said then that I used to take a Zenith stereo, and I would pull the turntable down, open the speakers up. I did that backwards. Open the speakers, turntable, put a song on, and I'd sit there with that old plastic realistic microphone. And I would do, at 14 years old, this is my real name, Wade Collier. Hi, this is Wade Collier playing the Stacks of Wax. Here's brand new Elton John. And I thought that's what you did. And then I'd hold it over there, and I'd play the entire song. Like somebody one day was going to want to hear that. I didn't know, but I would do. And so I dreamed about it. And in 1978, I was out of high school, and Jeff Tate, the late, great Jeff Tate, our dear friend, called me and said, look, I don't know that you'd be a good morning man, but I'm tired of doing it because I have to stay there all day. Would you come do mornings? And I said, yeah. So that's where it started, at WFDR. Everything over in Manchester and Warm Springs is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So I started there in 78, and I could go through all the stations I've been. I probably went to more stations than I should have, but I was always looking for the greener pastures.
Right.
So, that's when I started in 78. So, and it worked out. I tell you what, and you probably went through this in your career too. For the first 6 months I was on the radio, and I was terrible. Can I tell you? I want to look at I was terrible. Terrible.
I kind of doubt that.
But everybody would call, my relatives and close friends, and go, you were really great. You should have been doing this all along. I knew you'd be great. All of a sudden, that goes to your head.
Right.
So my attitude around the radio station was, I'm waiting on Walter Cronkite to call me and see if I want to do CBS News. So it took a while, and I didn't go in one day. And I had a dumb excuse for not going because I thought I was so great, who was going to fire me? So Jeff, my dear friend, said, you're off for a week without pay. You think about it and see if you want this job or not. And the first couple of days, I thought about how I could sneak up on him and hurt him. But about Wednesday, I went to his office and I actually cried like a baby, telling him I want my job. You know, whatever I got to do. He said, I just hope you learned a lesson. And so that's the day I realized, yeah, this is really important.
Yeah, it took you down a few notches.
It did. And so I knew Walter wasn't going to be calling anytime soon. I just needed to try to develop and get better and better. And then the Bear O'Brien thing was born in 1980 over in Rennes, Georgia. And it's been a wonderful time. God has been so good to me. He has blessed me through all this. And as we went to different markets, there were different blessings. So it was never get to the bigger market and finally get to New York and be a hero. Columbus was always my Atlanta. So coming back to Columbus every time was good for me. And I told him in my acceptance speech, everybody needs Jimbo Martin on their side or somebody like him, because Jimbo's always been my dear friend in radio. And if I wasn't happy in another market, I could call him and he'd say, come on home. And it was really a great thing because he always had a place for me to land. I've been here 11 years this time. First time I've ever been home this long. And I'm too old for anybody to want me now. But anyway, this is where I am. And I always like telling this story. Can I tell it, or are we going to run out of time?
Yes, you can tell it.
I was in Kentucky. I'd gone to Lexington, Kentucky, me and Mandy and the kids. And, this was back, matter of fact, we were there when the Twin Towers, when that happened. It was so terrible, but we were up there when that happened. And I'd been there about a year and a half, and I just wasn't happy. I loved Kentucky, loved it. But I just wasn't happy with a couple of folks I was working with, so I was ready to come home, and I was frustrated. So I'm sitting on the couch one day, and Mandy said, why don't you call Jimbo? I said, well, I may have upset him, and he don't want me to come back. I don't know. So I'm letting the phone ring, and his phone always went to voicemail. And he'd always say, hi, it's Jimbo, leave me a message. So I'm ready for that. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to say, Jimbo, this is Bear.
You had it all planned out.
Yeah, I was just gonna call, see if maybe you might want me to come back. I'll come back and work for you if you want me to. That was my attitude.
Right.
Jimbo didn't let it go to voicemail. It's like God was saying, you need to talk to him. As soon as he said, Jimbo Martin, this is how it came out, Rebecca. I'm not lying to you. I went, Jimbo, I want to come home. I'm 30, I guess 37, 38 years old, maybe a little older than that. No, 40. I was like 41. And I cried like a baby. I said, I want to come home. And Jimbo said, you all right? I said, man, I'm just ready to come home. I said, I was going to be tougher, but forget it. Can you hire me back? So, but he's always had a place for me to fall. And that's where I am now. So.
Yes.
Is this interesting?
Yes,
Do you
it
think
is.
this is a good interview? Y'all okay with this?
This is
Don't turn us off. This is
the
going to get better.
lovely thing about P&B Broadcasting is it really is like family.
Yeah.
And Jimbo Martin
Yeah.
is an
He's-
amazing man. And
He's daddy.
yes.
Yeah, and he does. And you know what? If he likes you, if you are, no, I'm serious, if you are true to him and you've worked hard, he's going to make a place for you. You're always going to have a job, and nobody's getting rich doing this, especially in Columbus. We're paying the bills, but he's going to take care of you if you take care of business.
Right.
And he really is. He's just a really good man. There are very few people, so many people work for these corporate radio stations, and I've already worked for both those corporations, and I'm not here to put them down, but I don't care for them.
Right.
And unless I was just down, the Lord says don't ever say never. So I don't think I'd ever work for him again. I like to sit across the desk from the man that signs my paycheck, so I can say, look, let me tell you what I've done. Because, big corporate, they don't care. Unless you're Howard Stern or Rick Dees or somebody like that, they don't care.
Right.
And they've proven that. A lot of good people have lost their jobs in radio.
And at P&B, it's always been family first.
Yeah, it has.
And that bleeds over into the community because y'all, your face is out there everywhere because you go and MC so many things out in the community, and people know you and they love you. So that's why
very
I'm going to
sweet.
introduce you guys to Bear if you don't already know him. If you see him out in public, like I said, please go and talk to him. And I get bear hugs.
Oh, well, look, that's my favorite thing to do. I just love people, and God has just shown me that because I used to, years ago, I did not care for people, but I thought I had the attitude. I thought I was somebody. So the listener, how could they be important? They needed me. I didn't need them. And when I went through some rough times, it's like the Lord told me, you need them. They're the most important thing. Not them. I mean, the advertisers are great. Don't get me wrong. That pays the bill. That pays the bills, rather. But the listener is the heart and soul of a radio station. Without listeners, we don't exist.
That's right.
And that's why I love when somebody says, I listen to you, or I watch you on TV. I do that TV break every morning.
Right.
And I work with the Piggly Wiggly. My voice has been in the Piggly Wiggly for 16 years. No matter how they recognize me, most of them will say, can I get a hug before I say it? But it's just, and I'm talking about people from 5 years old to 85, from some sort of media. And I loved getting the hugs, and I love saying thank you. When I say thank you, I mean it. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, but that's what it takes. I want you to know I'm not employed without you, and I need you listening, and I need you to enjoy. And if you don't like something I do, or if I've offended you, I want to know that too, because that's not my intention. Not anymore. I used to like to live on the edge, but not now. I want to say things that everybody can appreciate. They may not laugh hysterically at it, but they'll go, oh, that was kind of cute. So.
Well, one of the things that I've seen in you and all the years that we've known each other is you've talked about how big your ego used to be and different things that you've experienced. But over the years, I've seen you get a really close walk with the Lord, and you have become such a humble, genuine man. And you and Mandy are just the sweetest couple.
God bless you. That's so sweet.
I'm so happy that you got the recognition that you deserve, because you definitely deserve it.
I love you. God bless you. That is so sweet of you to say that, because that's all I want out of life.
Well, I mean,
every time I'm with you, you make me cry. Stop. Wow.
So what I would like to do, Toygar is going to show the video.
This is my acceptance. I hope you can hear this. And this man's great with audio and video. Yes. He'll probably soup it up where you can hear it a little bit.
Toygar's our cameraman. You don't get to see him, but we do, and we love him too. Toygar's going to work his magic and show the video.
Okay.
And then when we close, I would like for him to close us with one of your inspirations of the morning.
Okay.
But in case you don't know what that is, tell us what that is and how you got started doing that, because I think that is so cool. This was
about, I'm trying to think, what was it? It was like 95, because I had ran so crazy in radio, and I knew where my heart was, and I knew that God and I, the relationship between me and my Lord was just so much closer then, because I wanted to listen to everything He had to say. And it's almost like He said, if you go back into radio, we're going to do it my way this time, and I want to use you, but you got to just let me use you. And I didn't know what He meant. So I started doing these little feel-good stories. And I do them every morning. Sometimes I did them twice a morning, and nobody complained. People kind of liked them. And I didn't realize that people wanted to hear me read stuff. I didn't know that it was that. I don't hear me do it, and I don't get it, but other people do. So they liked it. And then after about 2 or 3 months, I kind of mentioned the name Jesus. And nobody complained, not even management. That's another great thing about Jimbo. He's a good Christian man. He's always allowed me to do that. And in secular radio, that's just not, you don't do that. And then I started mentioning other things, and I started getting into salvation, or I would get into other type stories. Everybody just kept listening and kept coming on. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but a lot of people do, and they enjoy it.
Right.
And so that's how it happened, about 1995. And then about say 1999, it became a regular part of my show, and I don't want to go anywhere without it. I went to Kentucky. We still get, Mandy has my website. It's bearsinspirations.homestead.com.
Okay.
And that's where they come from here on CTV Beam. They come from that website. So you can go on anytime and get them. But she created the website, and she has people from Kentucky. I did them up there. And she has people still sending inspirations from Kentucky. And I went to Montgomery. And so every market I've gone to since 95, I've shared that inspiration. So it's just a 2 to 3 or 4 minute story every morning that I find online, or it might be stories that I've heard over my lifetime. And they're usually just a good feeling story, but a lot of them deal with salvation or deal with what God can do in your life. So inspiration.
Right. And I know sometimes when I would be on my way here to talk with you about events coming up at the amphitheater, it just timed out so that it was on the radio just before I came in, and I'd walk in the door. I'd be crying because your little inspiration got to me.
Did you ever have it happen, and I hear this a lot, and it happens to me, Did you ever hear it and just that's the one that you needed to hear that day?
Yes.
Because I always pray, God, pick one out for me.
Yes.
And it's like people will say, if it's just one person, if everybody else says, that was nice, but one person calls, and if they're crying or even not, they say, Bear, I needed to hear that. Let me tell you what's going on in my life.
Right.
And I will sit right here in this studio, and I will talk to them, and we will pray. We have lost it. We've cried together. I don't even know their names. They just
Right.
and they've shared, that's what I needed to hear today. God's meant for me to hear that. Listen, man, that's what my career is all about
Yes.
now. That's what it's about. It ain't nothing about glorifying me. What am I? I'm just a peon. But you know what? I'm a king's child. And that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do is what God wants me to do, because I can't mess up that way. Let me do it on my own, I'll ruin it. I've proven that. But if I just do and try to stay in God's will, man, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm in the Hall of Fame. Has nothing to do with me. God has a reason for me to be there.
But God does show you favor when your heart is in the right place.
Yes, yes.
And your heart is in the right place,
Well,
and
thank you.
did deserve that.
Well, I claim that, and I do, because I will say of all the things that have happened to me in radio, that's the one thing that I was like a little kid. I was like this, and when they call my name, of course, my wife and I'm not going to talk about it. My wife and children were there, and yeah, it's like I was at the Academy Awards, and I just won an award for some motion picture. It was that big because
Yes.
my family they got all excited. And my friends that were at the table, it was a major moment.
And I think that everybody that got to hear your acceptance speech, it touched all of our hearts, and there's good reason for that, because you do.
Yeah, thank you. I
You're
don't
so
know.
welcome.
I just thank you. Anytime you want to do these interviews, I know that God's going to be moving, and we're going to enjoy our time together. And I just pray that everybody watching is enjoying this too.
Yes. And we want to thank Jimbo Martin for being the kind of manager who allows you to talk about God, because
Yeah.
that's so much a part of you. You would have to pretend like you were someone else if you weren't allowed to do that.
Right.
And CTVB, Mr. Green, is all about us talking about our faith and our experiences in the Lord. And there's always a bigger picture to everything, because God's in the middle of it.
Amen. And I'll tell you something else. Anybody watching right now, if you're thinking, okay, I hear about this God thing and all this, but I don't know about this or that, I don't want to preach at you, but I want you to know that I think it's closer. I know we're closer than we were yesterday. God says that. But there's coming a time, and I don't know if it'll be our generation, when people that just didn't want to hear about it, that's all they're going to want to hear about.
Right.
Don't miss the boat.
That's right.
Don't miss the boat. I mean, that sounds so crazy to say that, but it's true. Don't miss the boat. Pick up a Bible, read it. Talk to your pastor. If you don't have a pastor, talk to somebody's pastor. Talk to someone and say, what is it that's so special about being a Christian? What is so special?
Right.
I need to know. There's something missing in my life. I don't know what it's all about. Find somebody that is, and they'll tell you. There's people out there everywhere. So call me. Call me at the radio station. I'll turn off the radio. We just pray. I don't think Jimbo would understand that, would he?
I don't know about that.
Can't turn off the music. Thank you, dear.
Thank you for allowing us to come here to the station at P&B.
Anytime.
And I'm just so grateful to know you as a friend. And I wish
Same here.
you the best of luck in the rest of your career, because it's not over yet. And I want to thank you for joining us today on Faces and Places, where you never know whose face you'll see, Bear O'Brien, or which place we'll be. Today we were at P&B Broadcasting. Until next time, see ya.
Wow. Thank you, God. I prayed for this. 1974, I was 14. I got that Zenith stereo down, I pulled them speakers out on the side. Pulled that turntable down and put me on the record. I hit the record and play button on my Realistic, had that plastic microphone. I was good. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Crazy Wayne Collier. You're about to hear another stack of wax. Here's the new Elton John. Any pukers in the house? Come on. And then I would hold that microphone out, and I would record the whole dang record. Like somebody somewhere was going to go, I want to buy that. I want to get that tape you playing, but I did. Our hometown radio station in Manchester was WFDR. Everything was named after Franklin Delano Roosevelt, because that's where he hung out. Orange Springs of Manchester. And I worked at WFDR from friend of mine named Jeff Tate, who we lost about 2 years ago, and Jeff needs to be right here. And he put me there. And I had dreamed of being in Columbus all my life because I watched it. We listened to Atlanta. We listened to 96 Rock. I was a big 96 Rock fan, but I never dreamed of being there because I sure didn't think I was good enough even to be in Columbus. Just a few years later, they were looking, and Bob Raleigh's in the crowd somewhere, and Bob was looking for a copywriter, and I said, look, I'll take that till I can get on the air, because I've been on the air on all these AMs everywhere, from Barnesville, Georgia to Homestead, Florida, but I always said Miami. It was close. I worked in Rennes, Georgia. I always told everybody Augusta. I worked in Monroe. I told them Atlanta. Well, I always worked somewhere close, but nowhere big. But when I got to Columbus and I met all my heroes, the ones I grew up with, I used to think, wow, this is it. Columbus was my Atlanta. And before I finish up, I want to thank you for voting. God bless you. I want to thank you. I'll say thank you to the people, and I want everybody to know in this business, if you know somebody that you can help, because people are still getting into this business. I don't care what they're saying. They need to have what I've had. I had a Jimbo Martin. Jim Martin always caught me when I fell. Wherever I left, I could always call him and go, I want to come home. And he'd say, come on home, boy. Mm-hmm. You need a Jimbo Martin that believes in you. Even when you screw up big time, he believes in you. You need a Ralph Carroll. I'm sorry Ralph couldn't be in those seats right now. He nominated me, and Ralph's the finest PD I ever worked for. You need a Ralph Carroll in your life, and you need support like this. Kevin, Marcy, my friends Tom and Susan, my beautiful wife Mandy, my son Tristan, my daughter Sydney. I love y'all. Thank you for every time I said, let's move. Y'all said, okay, let's go. And we did. I love radio. I'm 59 years old. I hope I can hang on just a few more years. I love radio. I want to leave this world. When God calls my name, I want one of these in my hand. I don't know how good I am, but I know y'all voted me in, so I guess I did something right. I love you. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to today's inspiration entitled Love God. This would be a really neat letter to receive. Dear friend, as you got up this morning, I watched you and I hoped you'd talk to me. Even if it was just a few words asking for my opinion or, thanking me for something good that happened in your life yesterday. But I noticed that you were too busy trying to find the right outfit to put on and wear to work. So I waited again. And when you ran around the house getting ready, I knew there'd be a few minutes for you to stop and say hello. But you were just too busy. At one point, you had to wait 15 minutes with nothing to do except sit in the chair. Then I saw you spring to your feet. I thought you wanted to talk to me, but you ran to the phone and called a friend to get the latest gossip. I watched as you went to work, and I waited patiently all day long with all your activities. I guess you was just too busy to say anything to me. Friend, I noticed that before lunch you looked around. Maybe you felt embarrassed to talk to me. That's why you didn't bow your head. You glanced 3 or 4 tables over and you noticed some of your friends talking to me briefly before they ate, but no, you didn't. That's okay. There's still more time left, and I have hope that you'll talk to me even yet. You went home and it seems as if you had lots of things to do. After a few of them were done, you turned on the TV. And I don't know if I like TV or not. Just about anything goes there, and you spend a lot of time each day in front of it. Not thinking about anything, just enjoying the show. Well, I waited patiently again as you watched TV and ate your meal, but again, you didn't talk to me. As you did your paperwork, I waited again. You did what you had to do, and at bedtime, I guess you felt a little too tired. After you said goodnight to your family, you plopped into bed and fell asleep in no time. Oh, that's okay, because you may not realize that I'm always there for you. I've got patience more than you'll ever know. I even want to teach you how to be patient with others as well. I love you so much that I wait every day for a nod, prayers, or thought, or a thankful part of your heart. It's hard to have a one-sided conversation. Well, here you are getting up again, and once again I'll wait with nothing but love for you, hoping that today you'll give me a little time. Have a nice day. Your friend, God. Oh, I wonder if he really wrote us a letter we could read, or sent us an email. Is that what it would say? Love God, the inspiration of the morning. I'm Bear O'Brien, and I love you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. We got you in our prayers.